What's going on, guys? My name is Rami and welcome back to another episode of RQ's Garage, an automotive YouTube channel where I give you the ins and outs of car knowledge. And in today's episode, we're going to be doing a nice comparison video. We're going to be comparing two major cars that have come out in the recent year, and we're going to see which one stacks above the other. So in this video, we're going to compare the ultimate Jeep Wrangler to the brand new Ford Bronco. So by the end of this video, you're gonna know which vehicle is better. So let's bring in our handy dandy whiteboard. Oh, wow, that's so easy. I love doing that every single time. We're gonna compare both vehicles to 7 different categories. We have the hype. We're gonna see which one held the hype when they came released. We have performance numbers. We have horsepower and foot-pounds of torque, or Newton meters for anyone else that's outside of America. There was a truck. We have what kind of features they have. We have brand loyalty. We have different trim levels and different options. We have the number one question, which is the price, of course, and we're gonna end off with style. All right, so we're gonna start off our comparison with the hype. So back in 2018, Jeep Wrangler released their all-new updated model. And so this model had, some minor updates. It was a mid-cycle refresh, if I believe. So, the fenders were beefed up. They had different locations for the turn signal lighting. They added LED lighting from the factory. They added more creature comforts inside the cabin. They had a newer infotainment system, a nice touchscreen system. They had nicer materials, and they had really modernized the Jeep. Now, since the Bronco is in comparison, Jeep had to fight back. And a couple of days after the Bronco was released, Jeep revealed their Jeep Wrangler 392 concept. I'll display it on the screen right now. So they had a little teaser picture on Instagram that kind of showed the power and kind of showed the styling of this all-new Jeep. This new 392 concept came with beefier tires and beefier rims, I believe, and much more updated suspension. And this was a huge deal in the Jeep community, and it really was a lot of hype. So the Jeep held a lot of hype coming out from the factory, and especially when they updated the model itself. So they really are holding themselves well against what's happening with the Bronco. But we're gonna switch over to the Bronco right now, because when the Bronco got released to the internet, it literally broke the internet. People went insane for the Bronco. They have been waiting for this release for years. There's a lot of leaking community, but the leakers were non-stop ever since they heard the Bronco badge was coming back. And when Ford was finally ready to release the Bronco, people went nuts for it. This Bronco came back from a 24-year hiatus. The Bronco was discontinued in 1996. And the Bronco name is iconic. People know it as the O.J. Simpson car. This was the car O.J. Simpson drove in when there was a major police chase going after him. So people know the Bronco name. And for this category, I'm gonna give the hype to the Bronco, just because of that major name, the huge reveal, and the hype that went around it. Every automotive journalist were talking about it nonstop. People couldn't wait to get their hands on it just to even review it. So it was definitely a big deal when it came out, and I have to give this one to the Bronco. So we're gonna start off with the Wrangler. So most Wranglers come standard with a 3.6 liter V6, making 260 horsepower and around 260 foot-pounds of torque. Now you can upgrade for a 4-cylinder. Yes, you're upgrading to a smaller engine, but hear me out. So you can get a turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 270 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. So you're getting smaller engine, but more power and more torque, which means more efficiency. If you want to go back to the V6, they also tune it for the higher model Wranglers. You get the same 3.6 liter V6 that makes 290 horsepower, but still the same 260 foot-pounds of torque. You'd think they can tweak it to add more torque. But the one thing that's cool about the Wranglers is that in 2020, they released a diesel engine. So now you can get a 3-liter turbocharged V6 that makes still the same 260 horsepower, but 442 foot-pounds of torque. And that is a freaking insane number just coming from the factory. People try to mod their cars to get that type of number, but that was such a big deal for Jeeps. Now the Bronco, remember, is still a pre-production vehicle, so there's no cars on the road yet, but Ford did give everyone the numbers. So So the Bronco comes standard with a turbocharged 2.3 liter inline 4-cylinder that makes 270 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque, which is the same, if not better, than the Wrangler numbers. So they have an uphand when it comes to the base level performance. And you can upgrade that Bronco to get a twin turbo 2.7 liter V6 that makes 310 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. So we're talking big numbers straight out of the factory. So right away, the Bronco is well above Wrangler performance. Who's gonna win this one? It's kind of a hard one, I'll be honest with you, but I'm gonna have to go with the Wrangler. And why? Well, a couple things. One, when it comes to powertrain, so like, you know, whether you're getting an automatic or a manual, you can only get a manual on the base model Bronco. But Wrangler does a fantastic job giving so much variety when it comes to getting a manual or an automatic. And with that diesel alternative, that is a huge improvement for a lot of people who like off-roading, who like towing. I mean, you get so much torque, you get so much power. So Wranglers definitely get the uphand on the performance. This is already becoming a very close race. All right, next up, we got features. And this one's gonna be very interesting because they're very similar vehicles. So as a lot of people know, the reason why Wranglers are so unique is because you can take off the top, you can take off the doors, you can take off the windshield. I mean, you literally could have the most minimalistic car with a Wrangler. You don't need much to just get a beautiful all-around natural view. They're such a cool drive. I've driven one myself. They're such a blast to be in. We're gonna compare that with the Bronco because the Bronco, as stated in many of the releases and the photos that we see, also do the same. They take off the doors, you can take off the hard top or the soft top. Both vehicles have that. They have so much versatility. I believe you can spray them down on the inside with the hose. That's how they're made, just to be as durable and rugged as possible. With the off-road capabilities and the options, the endless options that both of them hold is so unique. But when it comes to features, this is gonna be tricky. I'm gonna have to give it to the Bronco. And the reason for that is, here's the picture I'm gonna show you. As you can see in the trunk, the Bronco can actually hold all of its doors in the trunk. So if you're getting rained out and need to quickly put your doors on, you can run to the trunk, put them on, no problem. Whereas in the Jeeps, you have to leave them at home. You have to leave them somewhere and they can't be put in the vehicle. You can throw them in the back seat. They weren't designed anywhere specifically to hold them. So if you're running at Costco to get some groceries real quick and it starts raining, Bronco's your best bet to put those doors and roof back on because they have space for them. This is a very interesting comparison. In the comments below, tell me what you think so far of how they're going. Do you agree with me or disagree with me? I really want to hear your thoughts. So next up, we have loyalty, and this is going to be very surprising for a lot of people. So we'll start off with the Wranglers. Everyone knows that the Jeep community has a huge brand loyalty. They literally market the Jeep Wave certified on the website. I mean, everyone knows that iconic Jeep Wave when you're rolling down the road, right? It's such a strong community, one of the biggest in the automotive industry. There are so many online forums, there are so many different kinds of Jeeps out there. You have super high-end lifted Jeeps, you have super basic modded Jeeps. Now contrasting that with the Bronco is still new. Everyone knows it was around back in the 60s to the 90s, but it's just coming back now. While the Bronco has a lot of brand loyalty to itself. So many people were so excited to hear this thing come back. I mean, they had 250,000 reservations just for the Bronco. People are dying to get this car in their driveways. And the media and all the car enthusiasts have been hyping this car up and they've been wanting to get this in their hands. So Broncos have just as much leverage when it comes to brand loyalty. People have been waiting for an off-road rugged vehicle from Ford for a long, long time. But when it comes to loyalty, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to give this one to the Wrangler. Just because they've been around for so much longer, they built such a huge basis. Statistics show that if some person owns a Wrangler in the family, another person will own a Cherokee, a Grand Cherokee, or any other Jeep, because that's just how loyal people are when it comes to that Wrangler brand. And this comparison video is going crazy. We're going 2 for 2 right now. My new segment called Versus. I really hope you're enjoying it. So our next topic is trim levels and different models. And so this is so crazy. I actually had to bring my laptop and read out all the different trim levels or models that both companies make. So for the Wrangler, so we have the Sport, we have the Willys Sport, the Sport S, the Black and Tan, the Sport Altitude, the Willys, the Freedom, the Sahara, the Rubicon, the Sierra Altitude, the North Edition, the Rubicon Recon, and the High Altitude. And if you were counting That's 13 different models. So you can get the same Wrangler, but have 13 different models of that. And don't forget, that's 2-door and 4-door. So now we're talking 26 different models. And on top of that, we have all the different features you can have, the off-road capabilities, the towing capabilities. I'm not an off-roader type of guy, but I know that the list is endless. Wranglers have so much when it comes to it. Now, same for the Bronco. Although the Bronco is pretty new, they still have a lot of different models. So I gotta read them off. So for the Bronco, we have base, Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and then they have the first edition. And the first edition, they're only making 7,000 units, just like the first released model. You know, they're gonna number it 1 to 7,000. But the Bronco has 6 different models. And on top of that, they have so many different features. They have like a Sasquatch feature that everyone's been talking about. They have all these different kinds of extras and model attachments and everything coming straight out of the factory. So they have so much happening to them. Now this one's kind of tricky, but for this one, I'm gonna have to give it to the Bronco. And the reason for that is, first of all, they have sick names. Sasquatch, Outer Banks, Wild Track. I mean, these names are awesome. And I don't know about you, but for me, if I see a Jeep on the road, I either see the base model Jeep or a Rubicon. I really don't know all those middle names. I haven't seen much of them on the road. They could be on the road and I just don't know if I see them or not, but they all look relatively the same and you can't really compare different kinds of Jeeps. It's hard for me to tell at least, and so for this one, for how much versatility, uniqueness, and different brand names, I'm gonna have to give it to the Bronco. All right, next up for the price. So for the Wrangler, the base model 2-door Wrangler will cost $28,295. And then the highest trim, the high altitude, comes in $5 under 50 grand. So $49,995. So you got a wide range, and that's the 4-door, by the way. So you got a wide range of a price between $28,300 and basically 50 grand. And you can add on different features to add on, you know, differences in the price, but that's kind of the margin people will be looking at when they're buying a new Wrangler. So for the Bronco, the base model Bronco is gonna come in at $28,500, and the highest trim model is gonna come in at $51,370. And the first edition models that they're coming out for 2021 is gonna start at $53,306 for the 2-door version and $63,500 for the 4-door version. And that's just for the first edition models. They're not gonna make that forever, but that's just something to look at. So for this one, prices are relatively the same. But, I mean, when it comes to basic price, we're gonna have to give it to the Wrangler, just because when it comes to the base model price, they're both gonna have basically the same features when it comes to base models, and the Wrangler just does it cheaper. And also when it comes to price, the Wrangler holds their resale value so well. Everyone knows that when you're trying to buy a Wrangler, they have such a great high resale value, and we don't know much yet about the Bronco's price and resale. Right now, we are 3 for 3 with the Wrangler and the Bronco, and styling is gonna be that tiebreaker. But right before we hit our last subject, we have a message from our sponsors. Hey, you! Yeah, you! Are you tired of hearing YouTubers constantly ask you to subscribe to their channel, hit the notification bell, and like this video? Because I am. I don't mind. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is a new Wait, what do you mean you don't mind? Yeah, well, if YouTubers have some great content, they want to share it to the world and think that they have some valuable information that's positive, respectful, and gives people valuable advice, I think it's a great idea that they ask them to like, subscribe, and share their channels. You know, you do have a good point. Go subscribe to RQ's Garage. Man, what a great message from our sponsors. I like those guys. Good guys. I know them personally. All right, and the last one, the tiebreaker, styling. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna see which one takes the cake here. So, starting off with the Wrangler. Now the Wrangler, like I said, it came out in 2018 with a mid-cycle refresh. It had some really nice updated interiors and some exterior designs. I mean, they made some really good creature comforts. They have the new headlight design. They brought in LEDs. They brought in really nice, turn signals to the front. I believe they deleted the Jeep badge and just have the grille and the headlights as their symbol. The new infotainment screen, as I mentioned, is a nice touch screen. They have really nice, good materials. They have those Easter eggs all around the car, so you can see they have like those little Jeeps driving on the windshield, or maybe a little Jeep on the rims. They have really good design, and the styling has really become mature for the Jeeps. Now for the Bronco. So the Ford engineers for the Bronco nailed it. I haven't heard a single negative review online about it, and I'm going to reciprocate that feeling. So here is a 1960s Ford Bronco, one of the original classics, and here right next to it is the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco. So you can see they took a lot of the design language. They took that flat grille in the front, the circular headlights, and they've really brought it forward into the 21st century. They've really hit the nail on the head with this design. They have great curved body design that looks old school but brings a modern twist to it. They use space properly and they use it efficiently. It looks so great. And the winner for styling, which also will be the winner for this Versus episode, is... That is correct, the Bronco. The Bronco has won. We have a 4-3 Bronco to Wrangler. I think the styling was gorgeous. They absolutely nailed it. And as an all-around vehicle, the Bronco really takes the cake for this one. Well guys, that is it. That is my first Versus episode. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos coming out every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me your thoughts on this comparison video. Which was your favorite topic that we talked about? Which one do you agree or disagree on? I want to hear your comments below. I'll be down there to hear your thoughts. Thank you for stopping by RQ's Garage, and we'll see you on the next one.